Now let's bring in Rotimi Fakaiyejo, CEO, Enterprise Capital, as he talks to us about how the markets performed yesterday. Good morning, Rotimi.
Good morning, Bolaji.
Thank you for your time for us. Now let's look at how the markets fared yesterday. Like I mentioned, industrial goods and some banking stocks led the decline. Tell us more about the performance for Thursday.
Well, for Thursday transaction, we saw a contraction in the value of transactions done. Yesterday it was barely 1.4 billion, and that is quite a reverse position from what we are seeing since the beginning of the week. And the sharp decline in the market yesterday, as I rightly mentioned earlier, was due to Dangote Cement. And in my own thinking, I believe that decline will most likely be reversed today because it was sudden and it wasn't commensurate with the volume of shares that was traded in that particular stock. And also for the fact that as at this point in time, there is nothing really particularly to stimulate any positive trends to continue. So we've seen it happening last week, and I think that was a very good one, at least a turnaround from what it's been in the past. And for this week, we most likely begin to see a turnaround from what we saw yesterday, vis-a-vis the results that has just been released into the market. I believe that should be enough stimulant to actually put the market forward, and that is the result of UBA.
UBA seems to be the last man standing in terms of the banks that have actually filed in the report to the authorities at the exchange. But let's take a look at the week. The week has been a bit of a roller coaster ride for the equities market. So how do you assess the performance this week?
Well, if you discount what happened yesterday, I believe the performance this week has really been satisfactory. Except for that yesterday as well, which had a major decline in the OSHA index and also a major decline in the value of transactions done. But for the rest of the 3 days, whereby on Wednesday the market traded, on Tuesday the market traded almost flat, and we saw an appreciation on Wednesday. So aside from that, I believe the week has really been good and at least satisfactory.
So you expect that this will be reversed, the bearish sentiment will be reversed today?
Yes, I believe it's most likely because we are likely to see a reverse in the position of Dangote Cement. And also the result of UBA today, at least should, to a great extent, stimulate the drive for some banking sector shares, especially UBA, which is presently on bid.
Okay, just before I let you go, Rotimi, tell us what you think about next week's trading session. Is going to be a new week, but what do you think about how the markets could start off with?
Well, I think like we know, next week the month is going to come to an end, and I think we're going to have the first 2 days ending the month. And for that alone, I believe that at least there should be some upward movement, maybe possibly Monday and Tuesday. But for the rest of the week, we may see a likely not steadiness in terms of trading, and the prices may not really appreciate as much. So next week may be just a flat position for the week to end.
Thank you so much, Rotimi Fakaiyejo, CEO, Enterprise Stockbrokers, taking us through how the markets fared for yesterday and how it has been since the beginning of the week.